Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Welcome, welcome to the, what is it called? Premiere. Third week in a row. We are meeting for this ESP CIRCLE class, live premiere at 10:10 a.m. here meeting with me. We are together evolving our spiritual practices. What does that mean? It just means here we are building a community of beautiful souls that congregate and elevate in every single phenomenal way. Right. So, as I sit here, not hitting record, prior to hitting record, I'm just, you know, in the double. How often we need to do that, right? And then I grabbed over the box of my notes from the universe, right? And I opened the box and I haven't used these in a while. And there's a delay. Oh, 46. Oh, that was weird. Woo! And I open it and it says, "You got time." Oh, my hair is like, you got time. And then I just started thinking, and I started thinking, and I started thinking. And because I told you for these classes, it's a challenge for me too. Although I'm doing this AM and PM, but the PM I'm actually live with you guys. Hi, in a private location. This one, the AM is public. I'm also growing with you guys too, because this involves me being consistent and doing something that is very uncomfortable for me, guys. Understand that this has been called upon me for a very long time. And it is now where I hold the reins to the chariots this time. And I say, have we done it? We're going to do this. And then I heard it. Sometimes just showing up is exactly what the universe needs you to just do for yourself. I was like, Spirit, you're gonna make me cry. Sometimes that is just all that is required of you. To motherfudging show up for yourself. Voila! And so it begins, right? So welcome to these timeless ESP class videos that no matter when you find yourself here, know that it is something in here for you to extract and utilize for your own mind, body, heart, and soul evolution. Accept no motherfucking substitutions, because this is your revolution, and it comes with an uproar. What revolution you ever heard was quiet? No. Do not be part of the dead fish swimming with the flow, because they don't even know. And so, no two flowers are the same, yet all are beautiful in their own way. Comparisons are odious because they presume all other things are equal, which is never the case between me and you, the universe, right? You might not know now, but you will, which goes wonderfully. So I was doing something different, right? Because it's outside of my comfort zone, right? You like, what are you talking about? You always record and you're always on social media and, you know, and all this kind of stuff or whatever. But doing this kind of level of exposure, just even for myself, because I'm putting myself out there, where typically I'm a very private person. No one knows my damn business. I don't speak to anyone about anything that's going on in my life, and if ever I do use it, it is for quote a reference of an experience to convey something that I'm trying to share, and I've already been through there. So, you know, so these things are kind of like rare. You know what I'm saying? So each of us are on our own plateau of level of development, and requires from and these developments and evolutions require from each of us something different from each of us, you know. And so I have been writing notes prior to hitting record so that I can stay on focus, because you know, hello, in Tantristi Babbler, that's me. I go off on a channeling spree, and there is no stopping that flow unless the human comes back in and be like, what was she saying? Which you all know I be doing. I'll be like, what was I saying? Right? So I have been writing notes, and you're like, what do you mean you were writing notes? You're a writer. Yeah, for me again. You get what I'm saying, guys? So I'm trying to stay on track, on focus, in focus, right? With these Sundays, and leave my babbling for all my other videos and social media you know, because that is just how it be, right? But I want to always at least keep these within the hour or more. Last week's ESP Sunday evening class, oh my, for those of you that stayed till from the beginning to the end, it was a 3-hour ride. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, there was a lot to learn at that time, but still, like, thank you. The 3-hour tour, right? Alright, so you might not know now, but you will. So I wrote down, which I'm glad, and I want to thank each and every one of you who participates and communicates and allow for these communications for you and I to continue to evolve and grow, because that is the way community works. You know what I'm saying? Because well, I know my role, I know my part, and I know whether or not, I know a big part of my plunge and taking a dive has been to trust and just have faith. Like, even last week, I didn't know last week was Easter. I didn't think anybody was going to show. I was like, I might be in this live premiere by myself, and I'm prepared to be in a live premiere by myself if ever that day became to be true, because it'll be, hey, what is the concept and what is the intention, what is the purpose of this that you do? You see, right? It's about the development of the spirituality of what it is that I am creating through me, and why I do the things that I do, and understanding, overstanding that too, and that's what I'm here to help you to do. You know what I mean? And so I know that for myself, and so I'm okay. I've been talking to myself for a very long time, for many a day, and so I'm not uncomfortable with that kind of way of waking up today. Be like, okay, it's just me and you, as always, right? And so you getting into that space of a place to be okay in that kind of space of a place too, for you, without feeling that lonely too, or alone, or feeling bitter or tainted, or, you know, just in a state of you don't believe, or you believe and you believe toxically, you know, based on the kind of conditionings of certain kind of things, and you are trying to shred or heal the parts of you and get to know yourselves for real. And many of you seek me for shadow work for real, because you know I know the deal. I walk through hell for real. Only not filmed. right? So I'm here to help you with your positions of life too, right? And those roles of developments that you play and the muse that I play in your lives, just the same way you all inspire me in varying ways, that you're the muse for me in my life, which inspires me too. We are here in that kind of regard for one another. So I wanted to thank each and every one of you, okay, that participates too and asks me questions as I ask, because that makes me happy. So even if you're not here, right, I have questions of yours that I'm so happy to address. And either way, I know in the PM class, I know the morning classes are a little bit rough, tough, and it's Sunday, and everybody has, different things, different reasons, different seasons, or whatever. I'm even, whatever, like 10:10, I could be sleeping or laying down at 10:10 in the morning. Because you all know I go to bed very late, and I'm a night owl, and it's already past. I don't even know what time it is right now anymore. I have no concept of days or time, so, whatever. So we are evolving our spiritual practices, right? And we are just getting in line with that kind of understanding, overstanding for our own development, right? Because this consistency builds the foundations of our future, right? So if you're not consistent with certain kind of things, and you're not setting certain kind of things into place, and you're not doing things for yourself, what are you doing? Right? I mean, yeah, sure, we're supposed to live, breathe, be, discover, you know what I mean? But how conscious is your free, right? So either way, I have questions that you have all asked me. And there's another question that's popping into my mind right now that I didn't write down here, and I'm like, this is why you write things down, because now the brain fart, right? I'm like, what was that question? And I write that one question down, and now that one question I'm gonna think about, right? And I'll ask the person, damn, what's that question? Because, I love you too, so just know that in future reference, when you play this back or watch this back, you know that I was talking about you. Okay, so either way, I just wrote them down as key points, kind of, like, or questions asked, and I'm just gonna read through them now so that we can know, because how I want to get into this flow of addressing everything that was kind of like, asked or said, because remember, everything that we discuss here, this is the beauty of the evolving our spiritual practices. This is like a group gathering. We talk, right? So if you are here and this is the first time you are here, then know that I am in the live chat right now, right? You can come talk to me if you're catching this live with me, you know what I mean? We'll be watching it, like, eating popcorn and talking about things. So I'm here to be able to assist you, or answer any questions, or just parlay with you guys, in the live chat. And this is my devotion of being divinely led, guided, and protected to do these kind of things and offer this, in this kind of way where, it's easier for me to do this, as you can see, because I, as a higher level empath and just, so tapped in, so even now, because I'm becoming conscious of the people that will come in eventually, all of you, I feel you. You know what I mean? Even though this is, when you're watching this, I've already pre-recorded this, and I'm just in the chat room with you now, right? It's like, ooh, what is time travel, right? Oh, right? We can explore those things and those kind of things, because those are the kind of things that, like, fascinate me too, but that's beyond the evolving our spiritual practices, right? So it's just, observation, right? Being key observer to just the observer effect of life. How many of these things that we are evolving from, right? We're unlearning a lot of our stuff that we have been learned or taught or conditioned into. And so a lot of those behavioral patterns and conditionings that keep us stuck, blocked, or whatever, or traumas and all this kind of stuff that has occurred in our own life, or whatever the case, or lifetimes, or however it is that we tapped in, or whatever the case may be, right? We're met with many challenges here to that this lifestyle, right, will appear to be least dominating on our planet, 3D plane of existence, right? Multidimensionally I operate, right? But not everybody operates that kind of way, and most of the times I lose a lot of people. It's like, I'm talking to myself again. So, so I took notes. So I'm gonna keep on referring to my notes to keep on track of what I say. What was I saying? That So the beauty about this part in the morning is we're bringing up all the wonderful things that we're going to be chatting about, which is what I'm chatting about here. And as a heightened level empath, doing it this way with the premiere, it allows me to convey and say everything that I need to say without getting distracted or just overwhelmed in that kind of way, because now I have to deliver some information. So delivering it in this way, where I just pre-record and I'm here and I can just do it my thing. So we get and then we wham bam, right? We good. In the nighttime, the reason why it's a little bit different is because we're now applying. See, so part of what we're doing and we're applying, and what I'm trying to help you guys with too, the more that you participate, the more that I'm able to help individually you in those kind of ways, is like the applications of astrology into our lives and into our understanding, overstanding that for yourself too, right? And the infusion that I do with the both Vedic and the Western, and applying that and understanding that in our personalized birth chart, right? And for the PM class last week, we spoke about certain kind of placements with the just understanding our sun sign, right? If like for me, I can only give as an example, right? In Western astrology, I am a Sagittarius, right? And that's the typical astrology I find most common with everyone, right? And then you'll find the people that follow Vedic and stuff like that, right? So in Vedic astrology, I'm Scorpio, right? So what we were talking about the last time was like infusing those two. If you understand the shadow element, the light element of that, and how it could be so beneficial to you to understand overstand, but to know that you have so many other placements in your chart to know, right? Like your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign, your north node, your south node, and all this kind of all these things, right? It's just another layer of functioning that is beneficial to know if you are awakening to these levels of concepts of life that can assist you in various ways, right? And I've just always been an astro queen for all of my days, right? So doing that. So right now we're in the new moon energies, right? So of course in the new moon energies, right, I look at the concept of Vedic and Western, right? So in Vedic astrology, the new moon is in Pisces, right? And then in Western astrology, the new moon is in Aries. Who's right, who's wrong when all is happening all at the same time anyways, right? So how do you utilize and whatever. This could be another concept of conversation. But anyways, so incorporating these two informations, right? And infusing that information and creating or whatever epiphanies you're going to receive from your own downloading of this information being received by understanding the intertwining of these signs working together. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But and infusing these and opening our doors to evolution, some more, and putting into practice a lot of the things that we're learning. So in the AM, right, I'm always going to overly emphasize and overly communicate, right, because communication is key to everything, right? Without it, what do you have if you cannot communicate effectively and healthily, wealthily, and stealthily, right? So that's what we do here. And so what did I say? This is when you regroup, okay? This is why I love this. This is why. You see how I work aligned in my alchemy in this way, noting myself so that I could be able to deliver what I need to deliver in the way that I need to deliver. And be able to give myself the space that I need to give myself a time out, please. To recalibrate. Are you crying? Yes. Okay. Hello. So welcome back, right? So anyways, so thank you to everyone who has been so phenomenally wonderful and loving and kind and supportive, and for all of you who have stopped by, showed up, and participated, and whatever the case may be. I truly appreciate each and every one of you for meeting me here in this sacred space, right, that we're creating. So what I like about this is here we have the AM discussion. It's like getting our 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 juices flowing. And then in the nighttime, we take everything that we cultivated from the AM and we now do our practical magic. Right? As much of a spiritualist evolutionist I am, I'm very practical. Right? But I'm a master alchemist and phenomenal manifester. Right? And so here we are, owning our own energetic source of sacred. I am owning my sacred space of an evolutionary place that I create, right? I co-create here, right? And so it's about mastering my alchemy, right? Okay, anyways. Because I'm trying to be a little timely. But, alright, so I wrote down all your questions from this week, right? And forgive me if I left out anybody. I did. And I'm still having the brain fart about what it was. I know I had to do something with self-love. Okay, something like that. But I like to get your questions and not, like, ad-lib to it in the way that, so next week, okay? Right, I'm going to read what I have here. And then so that whatever I babble into as referencing stuff or whatever, you'll get how it sinks in with your questions. And if you don't, this is why we're here, and this is why I invite you to be with me in the live chat, so that if there's anything that I did not elaborate or express in a way that has been made clear for you, this is why we have the PM session too, because we take everything that we speak about in the AM and we make it practical magic sessions in the next time, right? So we take what we, right, because when you know better, you do better. So a lot of people say, oh, okay, I know better, but how do I do better, right? So it's like that, right? So we're taking everything macro and we're making it micro, right? So every week I'm going to overly communicate and emphasize my macro, micro concepts of everything, right? Because as an empath and as just a highly sensitive intuitive, right? Because I feel everything. I don't care what anybody tries to deny about how they feel inside. I feel you, right? I don't care, right, anymore, right? I've owned that. I rock with that. I vibe with that. And you'll live in your sea of denial, things like that, right? Where people try to play spirit, right? Can't play spirit. It's like you can't play the universe source, whatever that is for you, okay? Okay, so here are the questions. Or statements too. I'm taking some of your statements. I'm using that as well in the materials that I will be discussing on Sundays with you, because sometimes I speak too fast for the video recording, and it loses track of me, and then that throws me off. I'm looking at myself talking ahead of time or behind time or whatever it is. What is time? We have time, okay? So statements and questions. Right? You know how I am about stretch. I'm not shy about it. We need to do this. This is mind, body, heart, and soul. This is all of it. Ugh, okay. Okay, guys. Okay, so I'm quoting some of you, okay? This page right here, okay? It's a challenge to evolve. What is challenging about evolving? How do you use your intuition to make an important decision? How do you manage the overload of information once something clicks in your way of thinking and you start seeing everything and everyone differently? How to remain in your zen when you feel like smacking a bitch? That one made me giggle that day. Who helps me? Someone was asking, who helps me? That was me. That was my side notes, right? And then I quoted Empress Bella from YouTube. It's not winning that matters, it's love, right? And then I quoted her again. And I didn't quote her, but I just said something I heard that clicked. And she was talking about learning to accept the real you and not the one you judge, right? Or view overly critical, right? Or as what was taught to you is what I added, right? Like, you know, oftentimes we are our own worst enemy because of that self-critic, right? That inner critic, or just, you know, the way life has been dealt, that we perceive, or what lens you're looking out of. You know what I mean? Sometimes I ask people, whose eyes do you see out of? Is that even yours? You know? So these were questions or statements that were brought up within this week from since last Sunday, right? That are pressing for some of you, right? Thank you. Right? So we're gonna talk, you know. And so the great thing about this, just so that you know, the practical magic part of it is in the nighttime, okay? That's when we're gonna break down all the macros and make it into micros, which is mind, body, heart, and soul, the same kind of concept from my Evolve Into It coaching platform, right? Which is mind, body, heart, and soul. I broke it down into unicorn, mermaid, fairy, and dragon, right? Tier, mind, body, heart, and soul. Infusions, right? The practical magic for your solutions, for your revolutions, for your evolutions, right? And the consistency that is needed, right? So for me, showing up every Sunday, that's a challenge, spirit. But I'm showing up. No matter the time, guys, I wanted to go to sleep. I wanted to go to sleep. And as I'm doing this now, and I can cry with gratitude, I'm not fucking tired. But I wanted to go to sleep. So, consistency is sometimes, most times, is the very thing that we lack in terms of changing our behavioral patterns and conditioning, right? We can unlearn behavior and acknowledge it, but until we take the action necessary to change it, transform it, transmute it, that's like bringing a horse to water, right? You can't make them drink it, right? And so it's like you can have all the knowledge in the world, don't mean you apply it, right? It's like that hard-headed syndrome, right? Why does it take me 3 times to learn this lesson? Now I get it after the 3rd time, right? That hard-headed syndrome, right? Right? So, right, or just thinking, you know, last week I was talking about having that question. How many of you have answered that question in terms of what is going to be my question that I go to myself real quick when I'm checking myself when I'm being triggered by some external force outside of me that's trying to make me step out of my zen, right? So I shared with you that one of the questions that I go to with myself that is my truth is knowing your truth, right? Knowing your truth is going to be what's most important for you in order for you to get through anything. To know your stance is powerful, right? I know my truth, and therefore you say what you want. Or are you going to be cowardice? Then you need to check that, because then that's not your truth either. You see what I'm saying? So, right, it's not about winning that matters. It's love, right? At the end of it, the root of it, the sought, we seek, we want, we desire to be accepted, to be understood. But do we understand ourselves? How the fudge do I want somebody to understand me if I don't even know myself? And it's okay to be fickle. And it's okay to change your mind constantly. What I like today, I don't need to like tomorrow. That don't make me not knowing myself. It makes me know that I know I'm evolutionary and that I can change my motherfucking mind at any given moment. I'm not, just because I choose today doesn't mean I'm stuck here tomorrow, but that's our conditioning, right? So, how do you remain in your zone when you feel like smacking a bitch? Have a go-to key for you to turn to when shit pops off and gets really real, and you check yourself, because you can and you will, because when you know better, you do better. And if you don't want to, then you won't. And you'll act out of pocket. And you'll still let them win energetically because you got upset. First things first, right? People are gonna try to take you out of your zen. That don't mean you gotta come out your zen, right? That don't mean that. But first you need to check why somebody wants you to come out your zen and why somebody's starting with you, right? Spiritual warfare. You can look at that as however deep we want to look at it. I'm going to use those terminologies because that's the best terminology I can get to explain the occurrences that happen multidimensionally and world motherfucking wide. Most people are out to hurt, damage, or inflict some kind of like nasty or whatever, or just evil eye, or like just because they are not content with them within themselves. And some people's role in this world, for whatever part of time they're in, that leveling of evolution, is to trigger you. And oftentimes when we're not in our most authentic of selves, right, we'll be triggered. And so for me, it's perception that's key. To look at that and say, whoa, thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to see the catalyst that's motherfucking here right now, pushing me to see myself the way that I'm not, that's causing me to want to act out in rebellion to this external trigger and take it out on them. It's a challenge to evolve. You know why? Because it requires you to put an effort into an action that you're not used to, that you weren't taught, that you're the one that is designed to breed and seed and energize, because every motherfucking body else won't fucking do it. Sorry for that curse there. That's why it's you. It's real talk. So look at the blessing in disguise. Because gratitude is supposed to be the upliftment of your life. To be gifted with sight. What? What do you want from me? Okay. So, right? So, this is out here. Right? So, have go-to keys, and I brought it up. So if you didn't see last week's, I don't know if it was the AM, I don't know if it was the PM, but I try to continue them from AM the transition, right? The transition part of. Okay, sorry. Right, okay. Alright, so I don't know if I'm like, right, what was I saying? Having go-to keys to turn to check yourself. Reminders, too. Like one quick check that puts me back into my place, and I've been sharing it every single week too, is I am divinely led, I am divinely guided, I am divinely protected. And I start chanting that at least 3 times. Whenever I feel myself triggered and I have no solution and I need to shut the STFU, we spoke about that in the other we spoke about that in the one of the classes, my game that I made up, that people get mad at me, that have gotten mad at me before for creating. But hey, it's a challenge. What are you doing? What are you doing? Right, so really watch the videos, and I know that some of them can be long, but just think about that as being the conditioning in you that is resisting the change to receive. So watch it in bits and pieces, but watch it. Take the time. I like to do everything 3, 6 nights, right? 3 minutes here, right? 6 minutes here, 9 minutes here. Okay, so it's only a matter like of asking, what do you want, right? So someone comes at me, my go-to question is, what do I want from all this? My truth, right? Because I have had this conversation prior to this outside person thinking they're gonna come over here and try to take me out of my space, my place, my peace, into their chaos, drag me into your chaos after I'm in my peace. Right? I want peace. I want peace. Right? And so my actions move in accordance to my truth, not that person that is attempting to take me out of my peace. And because I'm a prideful being, I acknowledge this in me, the satisfaction of their dissatisfaction, knowing they couldn't get me to step out of place, only solidifies my truth even more, to see clearly whom and what is attacking me. And anything that I hear from them that I feel triggered by, I've already had this conversation inside. And I say, thank you, Spirit, for moving me wise to know that that's an unhealed part of me, or something that I need to see that goes deeper than this thing that got nothing to do with that person over there, that I shall address with the divine, that I am ruled by at a later time when I can. In the meantime, in my truth I stance, I keep my peace, and if I cannot contribute in a healthy way, then I shall shut the fuck up. And if I don't, then clearly, what vibration am I really on? It's either you want to or you don't. And if you want to pop off, then ask yourself why. For whom? for what and whatever, and your answers be truthful. Oh, I need them to know. No, you need yourself to know that, because if you knew that, you don't need nobody to know. I found that really, like, because I've had both sides of the coin. I have wanted to say what I need to say because I felt justified. I need to say that. I want that person to hear that, right? I got a slick tongue, right? Deadly, we all do, right? Deadly is the tongue. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So the condition of your heart, your tongue will speak. That's deep. The condition of your heart, so it you shall speak it. Okay? So let's be mindful about the things that we say, because they are revelation to ourselves in the state of conditioning that we are in personally. Right? So it's a lot. But y'all brought this up, okay? So I'm trying to address certain things. Right? You'll find what you seek. If you've ever suddenly found and been loved by someone amazing, awesome, fun, and fantastic, chances are astronomical you will again. If you haven't yet found such a person, chances are astronomical you will. It's up to you, the universe. So it's up to you. It's always up to you what you choose to see out of. If you don't like something that you see, ask yourself, what lens am I viewing this out of? Whose lens? Where did I get this lens from? Do I truly feel this way? You know? So, how do you use your intuition to make an important decision? I don't. I do, like, what? I don't. I've learned to just trust flow. I'm going to try to explain this. Okay, things in my as they appear. The lower the price of your love, the higher its value. Brain freeze, the universe, right? Looking for the freaking. What do you want from my life? You've got time. We said that already. Alright. So, how do you use your intuition to make an important decision? I do not. Okay, so, right, I've learned. Sorry. I've learned that in truth, there is no question. I learned that in truth, there is no question. And so when there is a question, I've learned that until I'm clear, no decisions shall be made. Discipline. Because you always got time. And anything that is of urgency, because we have those, we operate off of flight or fight. And we tend to get into our apparatus mode. So whomever you are in in combat, naturally, is going to be that decision you make instantly. There's no thought to that, you just are. So for someone that sees the burning building down, sees people inside, and runs in without thought and goes in to rescue the people, how would you say they use their intuition to do that? That is a part of their natural response system. Then you have another that says, run, everybody, right? And that's that flight response system. There's no thought to those kind of things. So everything else you have time for. Right? So I know I used that as an extreme, but that was just an emergency kind of thing, right? So to say, oh, there's an urgency to picking and choosing something. If something doesn't feel right, like let's say it's between two jobs. If you can't choose between two jobs, maybe those two jobs are not for you. And then you say no, and then you see the one. But then if I say that and you're like, do you see what I mean? Right? Intuition, you use that for your discernment in regards to other things that are happening around you that go unseen. To trust what you receive from the divine. When you connect with the divine in that kind of communicative way, that you understand how you receive communication through the divine, right? Where it's clear for you when it's coming in. That's your intuition, right? I've learned to identify by doing certain things so that I can point it out, because we are conditioned to note and process things that we have some kind of visual to capture up, right? It's easier to remember something you see than something you didn't see. Something like that, right? So, sorry. Okay. So, learning to trust your intuition is vital to your survival of how often someone will mistreat, abuse, use you, or I should have not told that person something, like, that inkling, or I'm gonna walk this way today as opposed to this way today. Like, that's intuition. But how do I use intuition to make important decisions? I don't. Because I've learned that in truth, there is no question. And if there are questions still being brought up, then no decision should ever be made. You know what I'm saying? I hope that was helpful. You can further explore. Hopefully you're here in the morning and you can ask me whatever you want, because remember, I'm here with you. Right? So, how do you manage the overload of information when something clicks in your way thinking and you start seeing everything and everyone differently? So that's the thing. That's the thing. So there's a lot of things, right? So if you receive lots to loads of downloads, right? No matter who you are, where you are, what you are, or how download friendly you are, right? Your upload is yours. So still how you process, perceive, and receive all these things will be individual, if you know what I mean. And so for everyone it's different, right? So as a small child, when I would receive these downloads, it was overwhelming, and I had fevers, and it was just over sensory stimulation, and it didn't feel good. But that was because of where I was, right, in my perceptions, because I couldn't understand what I was receiving, and I couldn't compute. It then became that overwhelming discomfort of overly over sensory downloads that were not even, I couldn't even make it out. It was just noise, right? But with understanding comes understanding for your overstanding, and that's what I'm too. That's why we're doing this weekly stuff here too, to help you understand, overstand, even just those concepts for yourself, for your own evolution. Because when you do, it changes everything. So, how do you manage the overload of information when something clicks, right? So now you're asking, once you receive all of that, and then all the information clicks, now my perception of the world shifts. How? And now I start seeing people and things differently. That's judgment. I don't. That's the human, right, lens of conditioning. To say I get here and I see something and now I'm here to judge you or cast stones or look down upon you because it is the way that it is, or just not that, or just, whatever. Like, and there's one thing that we have been all trying to learn how to do is coexist, right? And so I've had a lot of patience with this, right? Because as a small child, for me, I had to get through a depression of nobody speaks my language. And we all can relate. Right? Nobody speaks my language. So, and I don't like to, again, like, put, like, labels or levels or whatever, because we're all just on a different frequency, energy, vibration, right? Of some kind of transverse universe. I don't know. But it's something like that, right? Multi-dimensional and all that kind of stuff. It is what it is. And when it's not, it's not. And what you learn through your own evolution is your truth. And so in your truth, that's your power. And it's your choice. It's your freedom. It's your freedom. And it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing or how they see. It has freed me that I don't even feel the need to explain many things. Before, I used to feel the need to explain myself. Today I know, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't mean that you don't explain yourself, and it doesn't mean that, I'm going from, because it's macro and concepts, that I'm just trying to, in order to help you with the visual of what I'm trying to convey, I have to exaggerate certain kind of levelings of things. I mean, I use a poor example, but it's just to get the picture of what it is I'm trying to say about how that so how do you start seeing everyone differently like that? You just start seeing everything as it is, not differently, as it is. It's not different, it's the truth. And everyone's entitled to be in that space and place for themselves without your judgment. Because you have had to go through so many levels of doubles, of evolutions, of deaths, of resurrections to get into the space that you think you're on right now, which is subject to change at any evolutionary moment. You know? Well, I hope that was helpful too. We can further explore. Remember, I'm in the live chat room with you if you are here. So, so having go-to keys of let me check myself please is going to be very fundamental and important for you to grab. I have an arsenal of reminders for myself, right? And again, they are extenuating circumstances that someone is your mirror, that you're meant to, but for not the reason that you think. It's to grow. But before you get to that place of a healthy combat of growth, you have to get through the nitty-gritty of the first combat that is through you, which is with yourself. That makes any sense. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I don't even know how long this is so far. So, I wrote down a quote that I wrote on my socials that I'm going to say here. It's, stop looking for a particular kind of person inside of a person that isn't there. Right? I wrote on how not to get things twisted. Right? If you don't want to get things twisted, stop looking for a particular kind of person, place, or thing inside something else outside of you, right? Inside of something else that's not there. Right? Right? So, and then the highlight that I wrote from Empress Bella, right? Learning to accept the real you, not the one you judge or view overly critical, or what was taught to you to how to view you, right? Learning to accept the real you. That's powerful. But if the shadow you right now that's fighting the world and others, combative, defending yourself, triggered, right? That's not the real you. So why entertain that person? To take you out of pocket where others have already taken you out. Right? So it's addressing every single micro component of yourself. Because every micro makes a macro. And every macro can be broken down into micro manageable pieces for you to, Right? So I also heard something that I wrote down from another one. Right? It's with Jupiter, right? I just wrote down ear gate, eye gate. And I knew that I was going to, and then I wrote notes around it. Right? And I just grabbed her concepts of ear gate, eye gate. That everything that we internalize or that we receive is through our ear gate, eye gate. Right? Grasp that. Everything you internalize, you receive through your ear gate and eye gate. Right? That's external. So everything that we're internalizing is external, and then we process it internally, right? So we receive externally and we process internally, right? Through our ear gate and our eye gate. And it made me think about as an empath, right? And our sixth senses too, right? Intuitive, right? You just know all the clairs, How many of you have all the clairs like me? Right. Heightened sensitivities to many kind of other sensory things that may not be the norm, right? So, empaths, if they're not conscious or mindful of their empathic nature and qualities, right? Or if you even want to go into astrology, if you're Piscean, right? I got a moon in Pisces, right? Absorb, that psychic sponge of absorption, right? Of all the energies around you and the emotions of all the people around you, right? And able to tap in. But if you're not conscious of it, right? So think about all the little empath, right? I was an empath child, intuit child, right? And it's not like someone was saying, hey, like I did with my daughter, right? Right. Knowledge is freaking powerful. Okay? I didn't have nobody to tell me that a lot of what I was feeling wasn't mine. So if you're not conscious of that and you're not digesting, processing, ingesting that, and you're picking up so many things through your ear gate, eye gate, and sense gate, right, and all these kind of things, how much life was lived unconscious that you have sowed into your whole entire development space. So much shit that's not yours, right? The unlearning process can be a grueling process, but it's a necessary process. And most find that challenging. It's not that evolution is challenging, it is freeing. Effort, discipline, consistency, that's challenging. Not evolution. Evolution is simple. All you have to do is flow. Grow? No. Okay. So let's get our perceptions, our lenses focused correctly with wisdom, right? About our truths. So I hope that was helpful to you too, right? So now we are, right, cultivating now astral elements before going, right? Change is always good. Actually, the only effective way of changing another person is by changing yourself. Works every time, guaranteed. Though I'm kind of partial to the way you are right now. Tally ho, the universe, right? So, right? So, love in spite of it all. Before this odyssey ever began, there was you, your best friends, and wide-eyed curiosity among you about who would be the first to leap, the first to forget, the first to kiss, the first to tell, the first to fall, the first to get back up, and the first to remember that it all began with a dare. To love in spite of it all. Is that you, Murgatroyd? The universe. Yes, I remember the glint in your eyes, all three of them. You have more options than you realize. It sure is hard to get really angry at someone when you can think of all the reasons why you love them, right? And you can. The universe, yourself, right? We're gifting this to ourselves. The love you truly seek that you think you want from another is truly the love that you seek inside for yourself, right? You're trying to fill in a void of empty and you're projecting it into someone or something that's going to be fulfilling to you, but it's not. It is you who must fulfill you. Just see what I mean. Right? So now, the best part, because I like astral stuff, right? And so we're in the new moon energies, and this is part of the practical magic that we apply in the nighttime, right? 10:10 p.m. Alright, so if you're 10:10 p.m. class, that's with me. I will be live. You can join. It is free to all my Evolve into a coaching members and all my private clients. You have free instant access to the 10:10 p.m. session, which I will send all of you the link to and all that kind of stuff as I've been doing this is now week 3. right? And for all others, you are welcome too. It is only 11:11. You can PayPal me or whatever the case may be. All the information will be in the description box for you. 10:10 p.m. Eastern time, my time. I say it wrong, Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes DT time, but it's my time. I better not be there at 10:10. Just kidding. I've been on time. Okay. So yeah, so I wrote notes on this too, so I could try to stay, into, because it's so much macro. I always feel quantum, and I'm trying to, be micro manageable too, and responsible for the part that I'm playing here. Okay, I'm a forever student too, because when I watch things back, I learn. Okay, and we all learn from each other. So now we're going to start cultivating the astral elements into our own placements too, and we can make the practical magic that we are creating in the PMs, right? By applying practical magic solutions to our everyday lives that will help us to be consistent, to help us to be supported and feel supported, and to have the things that actually work for us. It's just like what I was saying in one of the classes things. I was like, not all diets work the same for everyone, right? And the person will be like, why me? It doesn't work for me, but it worked for you, and all this kind of stuff. It's because it's not for you, right? So it's learning the things for you. So, astrology, I use that, right? And as we were discussing in the PM stuff, and how that in depth we're gonna go, like, because of the infusion of all of the elements and stuff that I use, and just that kind of practical knowledge too that I feel divinely guided to speak about too, because usually I just keep this information to myself or share it amongst my friends when we're talking and stuff like that, and I'd be, helpful to them in that kind of degree, but or clients and things like that too. But I'm just saying, like, in this kind of way where it's public and I'm offering you furthermore insight. So just 11:11, okay. It's just reciprocity. It's just energy. It's our currency, right? It's give and receive, and so that is why, it is the way that it is in that department too. And just, the energy attached that I receive in the spiritual warfare, how real it be. And so it's just a whole bunch of things, and so that's why I am led to do it this way. And I don't mind. So, right, so we got, so tonight what we're going to do, which I want you to join me, is that we are going to do a little candlelit ceremony for the new moon energies. And it's nothing crazy. It's just whether you can get a candle or not. I'm going to be using yellow, just because it inspires. The color itself inspires action, and it's just think about the sun energy and just what we're cultivating for the new moon cycle. So either way, I'm going to be lighting a candle, whether you can get one or not. It'll be for our group, our sacred space. Either way, applied in that kind of way. So it's about writing down our intentions, our affirmations, and our goals, right, for the year ahead, right? Or next moon cycle, we can break this down in parts. This is moon cycle, like however it is that you want to do. Just know that it's about the cultivation and the consistency of what you do every single moon cycle, understanding what it is that you're doing, right? Right. So we're gonna light the candle to magnify the new moon thoughts that we are co-creating with the universe, right? And so we're gonna do that together. And so we'll do that tonight. Right. So new moon. So in Vedic astrology, the new moon is in Pisces, right? And in Western astrology, it's in Aries, right? So, new moons are all about, like, fresh starts, time to set new intentions or around personal goals and aspirations, and actually taking the inspired action to get these things rolling, right? So questions like you could ask yourself are like, what would you like to create during this energetic time that is supportive of you, right? Right. So what you want to create for yourself, what you want to create for yourself personally, what you want to create for yourself spiritually, what do you want to create for yourself professionally, what do you want to create for yourself emotionally. Write these questions down, because if you can't answer them, this is a rhetorical. I don't need to know your answers. You can share them. Right? I'm here with you in the live chat. So, hey, right? So, what would I like to create, right? right? I would like to create more new ways that I can universally help the collective without, energetically draining myself, and being gifted more time to be able to do the things that I feel spiritually, divinely guided to do on an everyday basis, right? Expanding more and having more time to create and do the things that I love, right? That help so many, right? That is the something I would like to create, right? I'm just sharing with you, right? As we're talking personally, right? Right? Personally, I want to be able to be consistent and complete something that I feel passionate about. And so I want to work on that for myself, right? Spiritually, right? I want to be so tapped in, right, with the divine that I don't question anything outside of this life, because I'm so tapped in. Like, how long it took for me to get into this space of trusting completely without a shadow of a doubt how and what I receive, even if I can explain certain kind of things, right? To be so confident in that kind of way, right? Professionally, emotionally, to just breaking down these kind of things, right? Because this is that new moon energy that is helping us to take these inspired actions, right? I was just reading about Aries and Pisces for a second, right? So we're gonna do that tonight. I tell you at the end, right? So Pisces helps us to dissolve, right? So Pisces, right, even though this makes me think of the Ouroboros, right? The serpent eating its own tail, right? So the depiction of that, if you want something to meditate on, just the concept of the Ouroboros, right? The serpent eating its own tail, how everything goes, what goes around comes around, kind of like, right? And it bites you in the ass at the end. So depending on whatever, swallowing its own tail or like whatever, and just things always come back full circle, kind of thing, right? It's kind of how I feel about saying that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and saying Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Like, which is the beginning, which is the end? Like, who knows, my friend, right? But for argument's sake and just for traditional purposes, I am going to say that Pisces being the final sign of the zodiac, right? The 12th sign of the zodiac, right? Unless you go into the 13th sign of the zodiac, Ophiuchus, right? Or something like that, right? Pisces right now with the new moon energies is helping us to dissolve and integrate, right? What has come to terms, preparing us for the new beginning, right? And then you have this Aries energy also supportive of that in the action-oriented sense, right? Because Aries is going to say now, okay, thank you, Pisces, right? For cultivating all of that, for dissolving all of that, right? For putting it, now I take that and I'm off with it, right? So this is the kind of energy, like if I'm going to describe that. So it's just like, it's teamwork, right? With two different elements too. You got fire and water here, right? That it's like inspired passion, right? Right? So what can I start now? Right? This is another question I wrote this down. What can I start now that will contribute to my creating a strong foundation? So what can I do today that my future self is going to thank me for? Right? Because, like, so, for example, right? This whole tea business for me, publicly, although I make teas all the time, right? Publicly sharing and offering it now, where, I felt divinely guided to share it in the way that I did, and the response that I received, right, and the orders that I received. Now that took me back, although happy I am, right, but I wasn't prepared for that, right? So those that have placed their first orders know, because they had to wait, because I didn't even have material or supply. Not that I don't make the teas, and not that they, whatever. It's just, it's again, I didn't expect the response that I was going to receive. And so once I did, right, I had to get busy. But again, although time is an illusion, blah, 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 still we operate off of a function. There were a lot of things that I needed to prepare and get and do, right, for these orders that take time, right? Even in terms of ordering material, waiting for the shipments, Like, you know, these are things that are beyond my control, right? So and then I have to now make more teas, right? And all this kind of stuff. I'm not complaining, right? I'm just trying to give you an example. So this is new for me. On top of my already right? Right? So, and because I travel, I do a lot of different things. I don't do just one kind of living, right? I teach, I coach, I do body work, I travel a lot in between a lot of stuff. I do reading, I do a lot of stuff, and then I do all this kind of stuff too, right? Okay. Nobody's complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to share, right? And so the tea is important to me, right? So let's say I come home late, like I said today, I could have went to sleep, right? But I got things to do, right? And so I did, and I'm doing what I need to do, right? And I feel great. So the same thing with the tea. So because there's a lot of stuff that I'm working on, and I'm so excited about the presentation of the shipments that I'm sending out to those that have ordered teas and have subscribed to my teas. I am very excited about this whole entire thing. But there's a lot of little things that I'm adding into the shipments that are from here. And so I'm old school in that way that I do a lot of things myself. And so I'm doing everything myself. My daughter has been helping, which is wonderful, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm one of my dear friends too, like in terms of just because it's a lot of little things like cutting, like, you know, papers and things like that. That it's just a lot of time, even though I got a paper cutter now, like, you know, but still you gotta do it. And so it's just a lot of little things that are going into the presentation of everything that just goes more than the teas. And now you got orders and you got so many little things, and, you know, just because, you know, any allergies and medical conditions and all this kind of other stuff too, like that I have to take into consideration for a lot of stuff, you know, in everything, and just covering a lot of stuff. When now I don't want to overwhelm myself or overwork myself, but, you know, honestly, if I'm really, really exhausted, you can't, like, give yourself rest, but go outside my comfort zone, right? Getting rest never got me what I wanted, and I'm getting what I want, right? So I need to do more, right? So instead of going straight to sleep, like, or the other night, like, cut more papers that I need to cut. Let me at least cut this pile right here, right? I'll thank myself tomorrow for that. So it's just doing a little bit more. It's just like the same thing like what I say for the Evolve Into It coaching members, right? That it's a lot of reading, right? Because it involves, part of why it's an affordable coaching program is because all the materials there for you to do yourself, right? All it takes is for you to do it though, right? So that's the challenge, right? So like how we establish, right? Evolution is not a challenge. Effort, consistency, discipline, you taking inspired action is a challenge. So now, astrologically, we have supportive energies right now supporting you to take the action. So that's why knowledge is very useful and powerful too, to bring to our conscious what subconsciously we do to either self-sabotage or help ourselves, or what we're unlearning or learning, right? We can now take the knowledge of the universe, the cosmos, the energies, right, all around that are there. Might as well use them with care, right? If you know about them, fine, right? Because if you're empathic, intuitive like me, you're feeling them anyway, so why not know what the fudge you're feeling? You get what I'm saying? Right? So it's an awesome time to, you know, to set intentions. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight, writing down our intentions. Then we're going to write down. So this is why it's important to join me on the live, because I'm going to help you to write down, alchemize the right alignment of the affirmations to the intentions that you want to create. Okay? And all my Evolve Into It coaching members and all that kind of stuff, if you want to send them to me privately to fix for you for this new moon, send to me your intentions so I can help you with your affirmations. Okay, so we're writing down our intentions, our affirmations, our goals for the year ahead, right? And we're going to light a candle to magnify that into this new moon energy, right? So So what can I start now that will contribute to my creating a strong foundation for myself, right? Empowered, right? Successful, prosperous, abundant, feeling that way, right? Right? So a lot of that too is effort, energy that you put into the disciplines, right? Right? So I wrote down Pluto. Sorry, because I keep talking about Pluto. I was talking about Pluto for a while, and Pluto just keeps coming, right? So Pluto is in the background, stirring shit up. Okay, so there's something hidden in the energies too. That if you are highly intuitive, empathic too, you can feel those elements too. Just know that there's just a lot of different truths coming to the surface, especially like, you know, our own self discoveries that are infinite and expansive. Like the more you discover you, the more you'll discover that there's so much more to discover of you. You know what I mean? So in Vedic astrology, this is in Pisces. It's called Ravati Nakshatra. It's about self-care and nourishing, right? Non-violence, completing a cycle. So the completing of a cycle, starting a new one, Aries, Pisces cycle. You get it now, right? So, what energies do you wish to feel empowered by? What energies I wish to be empowered by? What energies I wish to radiate, to motivate, to inspire, right? So also I wrote down Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer. If you have those signs heavy in your charts, that's why it's important to know your charts, okay? Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer. These could be shadow elements of you, right? So if in Western astrology you're another sign and you don't know your Vedic, you might be this in Vedic. Like either way, it's just there's some major transitions happening for if you have heavy placements in those charts. But I'm just touching over everything lightly because I think I'm wrapping everything up, right? So phase 1 of the new moon is clearing away for positive change, right? So so new moon crystals, right? Citrine is another, it's good crystal, right? It to boost wealth, right? Boost our income, right? Happiness and all that kind of great stuff. I also have block. Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to brain fart what many is, but that's not for either way. It's always good to have, right? But selenite. I'm thinking of selenite too. Selenite would be good for the new moon, right? It's clearing away for positive change and stuff like that. Himalayan salts. They for energizing and protecting, right? So these are good crystals to keep by you. Like new moon, all my crystals charged. Like now I have plants charging by the new moon too. Herbs. Affirmations. All right. So why do we say affirmations? Right? Because they're our own personal mantras, right? So we use them to program and reprogram our subconscious to view or frame things healthiest for ourselves. So affirmations are personal mantras, okay, that we use to program and reprogram for ourselves, our subconscious, to view or frame things healthiest for ourselves. That's why we do them, okay? That's why they're healthy for us. That's why we have to become disciplined in our affirmation process, our journaling process, our self-reflection process, our introspection process. Like this is why I come meet me here every Sunday, okay? We're developing, right, new habits, right? So affirmations are helpful in changing our programming, changing our beliefs, changing our conditionings, right? And helping us to instill healthier, more aligned actions that speak more truth for ourselves when we learn and discover ourselves in truth. But that'll come with learning your truth to inspire that action. If you stay programmed to look outside and you don't find your answer here, your truth, no inspired action will take place because you're so focused elsewhere. So find your truth because the inspired action will come right after. Whew. So affirmations are positive messages said consciously to embed in our subconscious, our inner voice, so that we can operate optimally through our highest of selves, okay? Now you see why it's so important to meet me on Sundays? Yeah. New moon. Oh, so yeah, when I was writing this, new moon tea was inspired by me to write down just simple ingredients that you can make, right? For to inspire you, to motivate you. So maybe you can have some in the evening or whatever, or have some during the day with me. Have some during the day. Let me know how you like it. I always add honey to flavor, right, to taste. But lemon thyme, I say lemon thyme, you know what inspires me to say lemon thyme? Because now I have lemon thyme, because I have the herbs that I got at the farm. And so I have lemon thyme, and I was drying and storing today some lemon thyme. So I was like, oh, this is going to be such a great tea. So lemon thyme, right, with some ginger, grapefruit. Grapefruit is good for clarity. Clarity is power, right? And lemon and some honey, and that should be a good new moon tea for you to just sip on. Very basic, like, you know, hopefully you have those simple ingredients, right? But just for enlightenment, right? So just new moon enlightenment tea, right? So some lemon thyme, if you have some, or just lemon and thyme, right? Ginger, grapefruit, and lemon and honey for flavoring. I use honey for everything, right? So, right. So, what else? Cedarwood helps improve sleep, gives more energy. It's a good new moon essential oil scent or whatever. Ginger, grapefruit. Thyme fights off negative vibes, right? So, and it's a mood booster too, so that's why that's good. All right, and you know, just to sum up, so our intentions, affirmations, manifestations, and the yellow candle, right? It's just, you know, because again, yellow, it's a symbol of personal power, right? It's also a symbol of friendship and stuff like that, self-esteem, manifesting thoughts, right? Bringing it into the light, right? Yellow, shining bright, right? Confidence, creativity, and mental clarity, right? And it's interesting because, you know, always for a new moon, you never see a moon in the sky, right? It's always dark, right? So it's interesting, right? Because, right, so the new moon, it's active, it's dark, it's a dark period, okay, of taking that leap of faith into your journey, manifesting and taking inspired action into your new beginnings, right? So it's all about discovery, right? It's all about discovery, right? The picture's not fully illuminated because you are meant to experience it, right? And so pay attention to new info being received and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? And so wonderful. So I at least got through what I wanted to get through, which is I'm happy for you. So I just did a random page turner. So this is Today I Affirm Self-Love Letters. My personal self-love journey started with me finding and making time to be kind to myself. Because I'm a writer, I began with a pen and some paper. I did not write this, by the way. I'm reading this from a journal that nurtures self-care, okay? Because I'm saying I'm a writer because I'm like, me too! Me too! I'm a poetess. Okay, so I began with a pen and some paper. Some of you may know this as my note to self. Exercise. Initially, this task was extremely uncomfortable, but the more I started to pour kindness, compassion, and joy into myself, the more my love notes became a daily practice of gratitude, manifestation, and enjoyment. To get started, refer to the example I have left to you. I promise, it's not as daunting as it looks. Your love letters can be as long or as short as you like. Remember, there is not a right or wrong way to complete any of these pages. Move at your own pace. Find your rhythm and create a ritual that best suits you and your evolution through self-care. Self-worth teaches me that I do not have to lack in order to provide. Alex L. Self-worth teaches me that I do not have to lack in order to provide. That's pretty deep. Where are you going, puppy stalls? I don't know where he's going. He's going the wrong way. Go that way. Self-worth teaches me that I do not have to lack in order to provide, right? Because usually a lot of times when people are operating off of doing something, it's for something in return due to what they feel they want to receive, or looking at something through a lack kind of mind or lack thereof of your own self-love or worth at this time that you overly give and do for others, you know what I mean? In that kind of way, so the self-love in that kind of way to be able to be, I don't have to give and lack. Like, I like that. Like, so write that down. Self-worth teaches me that I do not have to lack in order to provide. So why do you give what you give when you give what you give? Is it because you are lacking, or is it because you are so abundant that you're overflowing and so you give it? There's a big difference between the two. I have been so abundant in my energy giving that people have tried to drain me. Because of my overabundance, right? A flow of energy. Many of you are just like me. Give the shirt off your back. And you be nice over there. Right? So, is that due to your lack? Or is that due to your abundance? Why do you do what you do when you do what you do? Ooh. So, some more letters from the universe before we go. Thank you so much. I hope that you join me this evening. Again, we're going to do a little candle lighting ceremony. You do not need to have a candle. I will have a candle for all of us. But if you do have a candle, you are free to have the candle yourself. You're able to do it on your own too. I am just inspiring the action. You are free to do it however you want to your satisfaction. I'm not here to tell you how to do things. I'm here to inspire you to do something though. Okay. I just imagine me watching this thing when I want that. Create space for new love. Ooh. When a thing hurts your eyes, stop looking at it. When it hurts your ears, stop listening to it. And when it hurts your heart, stop justifying it. I love you so much, the universe. Which brings me back to what Rise with Jupiter was saying about the ear gate, the eye gate. About, she was referencing it, I think, in terms of like being careful of the kind of music we hear, what movies we watch, the things that we listen to, because, you know, especially because there's so many subliminals and so many things that we retain or take in subconsciously that we're not even aware of. So be careful, because the eye gate and the ear gate are entryways into our inner land. So we should be mindful about what we allow ourselves to see or hear or listen to. So it's here, right? So it's when things hurt your eyes, stop freaking looking at it. It's like me. I stopped watching TV over 10 years ago due to my overstimulation of just even the news and things like that, and just how it was affecting me. And so no, I'm not going to see that. People turn things on, they're like, here, just look, watch. I don't watch those things, and I don't need to. I know what's there. If I wanted to watch it, I'll watch it myself. So, you know, it's learning these boundaries that you set for yourself, and why. It's not that you're ignoring the problem or the issue or anything like that, but you're handling yourself, knowing yourself, understanding yourself in a healthy way for yourself, that until you learn to master yourself, you have to draw that line in the sand wherever it is needed. You get what I'm saying? So, hope that was helpful too. Love in spite of it all. Before this odyssey ever began, there was you, your best friends, and wide-eyed curiosity among you about who would be the first to leap, the first to forget, the first to kiss, the first to tell, the first to fall, the first to get back up, and the first to remember that it all began with a dare. So love in spite of it all. Is that you, Margaret, the universe? P.S. I remember the glint in your eyes, all three of them. Come on, papito. Get back on the bed, old young man. Get back on the... Okay. Things are not as they appear. The lower the price of your love, the higher its value. Brain freeze. The universe. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Karma is on your side. Right? So that could be another thing too, right? So someone said, they said, how do you keep it cool when you want to smack up? You know? Keep it cool and know karma is on your side. Right? You don't need to do anything. What you need to do is work on you. It is not your job or your duty to put, and you just stop it, to put anyone on check or in their place, or for you to be that judge and jury or that executioner for them too. Even if they hurt you, even if whatever, they're testing you, triggering you, and whatever, even if they deserve it, I'm not saying anything. I'm taking all, I'm not being insensitive either, okay? It is what it is. If it's not going to help the situation, then is it worth whatever that you're going to do that's going to cause a disruption? You know what I mean? So karma's on your side. If I could read all the minds that I read, hear all the prayers that I hear, and beat all the hearts that I beat, stop it. I wonder if you'd even believe how often you're thought of, talked about, and fallen in love with. It's payback time. Andale, andale, the universe. Alright, we all reap what we sow, right? Most of the times people, we can talk about that in tonight's class too. Most of the time people are guilty, stop it, right? For their own evil ways or deeds or seeds, and then they think, you know, and they project out onto you or something, you know, to blame or whatever the case may be. I don't know where I was going with that, but other people, you know, it's just, it is what it is. Stop it! This sound is driving me crazy. Okay? And know that the wheel is turning in your favor always. You can say that. Affirmation. The wheel of life is always turning in my favor. I am divinely led. I am divinely guided. I am divinely protected. I am divinely led. I am divinely guided. I am divinely protected. I am divinely led. I am divinely guided. And I am divinely protected. Any weapon formed against me shall not prosper. Any weapon formed against me shall not prosper. Right? I send all evil ire doers that send the nasty energy vibrations my way, evolution and healing and love today. May they receive the love that is missing from their depleted system, and may they heal from every wound that causes them to inflict wounds onto others. May they be bound or stopped somehow by the evolution, profound, miraculous wow that causes them to have a turnaround. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of witchcraft, but I do. It's not only about being right. In all tests of character, when two viewpoints are pitted against each other, in the final analysis, the thing that will strike you the most is not who was right or wrong, strong or weak, wise or foolish, but who went to the greater length in considering the other's perspective. Don't you agree? The universe. And I'm going to leave it there. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me here whenever you do, whether you join me in the live chat or not. or whether you see at a later time. Please feel free, if it resonates with you in any kind of way, I don't care what year it is when you do see this, right? I'm here for you. So if you have any questions in regards to anything that you see here, and if you want to join, if you catch this, note that it's every Sunday, this ESP Circle class, for free, 10 a.m. On my YouTube and Pinterest about where that's me. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let me know how it resonates with you, and if you like this kind of things too, right? I also do all the content too. All the information will be in the description box eventually. Okay? And if it's not there, go to the last freaking video. It should have all of the information there. Okay? Just, yeah. Until I get to it, because this is the one guidance team. I do everything, and I'm tired after this. I'm going to sleep. And so, I might not have anything in the description box for 10 a.m. when you first see this, but it might be there at 3:33 p.m. You know what I'm saying? So, time is of the essence in what I make of it, and I move at my own goddess pace. Right? And so, yay! It's about showing up, right? That's what it is. What's up, right? Sometimes we don't know the path, we don't see the full picture, but all the divine wants you to do, the divine is you, is to show up for who? For you, right? For you. You're showing up for yourself, right? That's gonna help your health, wealth stuff, right? Right, awesome. So I hope I see you tonight. We're going to transition all of this information, right? We're taking all the macro, and we're making it micro, and we're getting it witchy, right? And magical, and mystical, and whimsical, right? And we're applying all of this into practical magic for our everyday life, because we are master alchemists, manifestors, and we align in our shrine all the time, and it's about showing up in the space of a place. So I want to thank each and every one of you for meeting me here. Thank you. Yeah, and so I see you tonight and next week, okay, every week, ESP Circle with me, Enchantress the Babbler Genocide, on this revolutionary that's happening at the same